Well, greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome back once again to the Farts and Craps Show, where today I'm going to be looking again at Scarlet Nexus because we finally got update 1.03, which is live on PS4, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. And it's honestly not that significant of an update, and I couldn't find full patch notes like anywhere. So I'm gonna go over basically all the details I could find around the internet, and the game still doesn't have like a PS4 Pro patch. So I was checking PSN to see if it did say PS4 Pro enabled or enhanced, I guess. And yeah, they didn't have anything about that on the game's page. Because typically if there is a PS4 Pro patch, it will say so right there with the offline play enabled, one player, remote play supported, that sort of thing. So I went ahead and did some searching and found out that PlayStation Universe, psu.com, did post an article on it. And if you are playing this on PS5, apparently the update is called 01.003.000. And they said new settings were added to option screens, which is correct. Bug fixes and improvements have been implemented, which I haven't really seen much of anything in that regard. In fact, I even found a few glitches that I hadn't seen before. Improved aim assist with locked on option. I don't know why they put it that way. Camera distance and camera tracking settings, locked on enemy camera speed settings, which don't seem to actually do anything. Option to toggle SAS animations on or off, which is pretty cool. New subtitle and font size, smoother character movement. And I do have to say the subtitle and font size thing is not global in the game. It's pretty much just for subtitles and certain text, dialogue text, basically. And Bandai Namco did put out a video about essentially what the updates look like. Aim assist is pretty self-explanatory. I personally don't like aim assist in games, especially ARPGs like this. JRPGs, action Japanese role-playing games, or JARPGs, I guess would be more accurate, Japanese action role-playing games. The other one, camera distance, it still kind of depends like where you are. Again, this isn't global. In some areas the camera will just be closer, in some areas it will just be further, but I guess a little bit closer or a little bit further in general. Camera tracking settings. This also doesn't really work very well, and actually doesn't really work in the same way that they show in the video. And you guys can check that for yourself, of course, to see what you prefer. And the SAS activation animation absolutely works and does exactly what it says. I got really tired of seeing these throughout the game because it's a feature you use a lot during combat and throughout the game. And in my roughly 42, 43 hours No, it should be about 42 hours. For my playthrough, yeah, I got so sick of these. Locked on enemy camera speed. This one did not work at all like they showed in the video. And again, I will get into that in a minute when I show you guys like my actual gameplay and stuff. In fact, this feature didn't seem to do anything. Subtitle and font size, this does exactly what it says. However, there are only two options, normal and large, and that's kind of disappointing because the difference is not that noticeable. It does help a little bit for legibility, but that's about it. Smoother character movement. This is basically startup time for, like, as your character goes from being still to actually like full walk speed or full run speed, but run is actually only activated after a dodge. So essentially from your character being still to walking speed, which I guess could be considered a run, and then your faster run is more of a sprint based on how the animations look. But yeah, ensuring smoother navigations, I don't entirely agree with that, but there does seem to be, the way the game's movement works, there's already essentially an input delay, but it's not the input delay, it's like the actual action delay because of the animation they put into it. It's weird and it takes some getting used to, but it's an aesthetic choice I can respect. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So to those of you that wanted the TLDR, basically I don't really consider this to be a significant update. Like, I still think Scarlet Nexus is a great game overall, and these are improvements. However, I don't think this should have taken them, like, what, 3 months? Came out in late June. Yeah, like, this doesn't seem like an update that would have taken 3 months. And essentially, when you check, because this is running on PS4 Pro, if you check the updated history, it really just says those first two things. New settings were added to the options screen, bug fixes and improvements. Alright, but there doesn't appear to be a PS4 Pro patch, so I am running this in boost mode right now, and it does seem to help a little bit. One thing I did notice, and I will go through all the options to kind of like illustrate what has changed, what hasn't, what works, what doesn't. Auto lock, I don't care, I don't use it. Aim assist, again, I don't care, I don't use it. Camera distance, I'll just show you guys a little example here. So I'm currently in Hideout Mountain, and in this area, by default, the camera is pretty far, like further than other areas. So if we wanted to change that to close, it brings it in a little bit, but this is still further zoomed out than in other areas. And as you can see, you can walk around freely, and then the camera kind of takes a while to recenter on your character, but that's partially because the camera is like fixed, and it's also fixed on where I point it, which I prefer. I greatly prefer that, but the fact that the camera can't keep up with the character until you stop moving, basically, seems completely unnecessary. And in the video Bandai Namco put out, they kind of showed that you can basically just keep the camera centered on the character, but it doesn't work that way. I will show an example. So we'll keep the camera distance close. Remember that. Camera tracking automatically, toggle automatic camera tracking character on and off. On. Camera tracking settings, configure the speed of camera tracking to character movement. We'll start that on low. Let's say yes. Now, I'm not touching the right stick. It just does that now. Like, okay, well, what if turn on 5, like the fastest? That does basically keep the camera like centered on the character. However, it also automatically moves the camera, like rotation. It automatically rotates the camera based on where your character is going. Now, to those of you who don't like to use the right stick, this basically does mean you can play the game without even touching the right stick. However, the only way to get rid of that thing of the camera, like, keeping the character in the center, is to have this turned on and keep it turned up all the way. Now if you turn this off, say yes. Oh. That doesn't make any sense. But it still does the thing of keeping the character in the center. Even though that is a setting. Okay, so that was very misleading, because now I'm controlling the camera manually, but the camera is also staying on the character, which I greatly prefer. Huh. That is really cool. I did not... I just learned something. Huh. So that's interesting, but that is improperly labeled. Your speed of automatic camera tracking to character's movement. Camera tracking. Toggle automatic camera tracking to character on and off. Yeah. So turning this off would basically make this setting not matter. According to... That is so strange. According to how this is worded, right? Because camera tracking and then camera tracking settings. But no, you can turn that off and then turn this up to high speed. And then the camera will just stay on the character. Which again, I prefer in every aspect. Because I used to think that was kind of dumb. However, if you don't want the camera, like, jumping around a little bit like the character does, you might want to keep that slower. Or even like on kind of a medium setting, like 3. Which actually, yeah, that's a good in between. I actually prefer that, because the camera does seem to jump a little bit too much when it's on 5. But now it does a pretty good job of keeping the camera in the center, or keeping the character in the center of the camera, but it doesn't jump around as much. So I actually do prefer that. So that's interesting, but improperly labeled. Yeah, another thing I noticed about the camera is when I was playing through the game, I pretty much had motion blur on all the time, which I'll show you guys something
Being
here real
invisible is fun.
quick. When you move the camera diagonally, then stop, or even just vertically at all and stop, the camera will snap a little bit past after you stop moving the stick. Every time.
I wonder, is my hair clip dirty?
And I found that incredibly annoying. And the motion blur actually doesn't work well anyway, so if you just turn this off and say yes, it completely stops doing that. As you can see, it just like stops normally, like when you stop giving it an input. Strange, but kind of cool. Also, being able to turn off the random like chats that they have would be a really great feature. These aren't new settings at all. SAS activation animation I turned off because yes, those get annoying. Brain crush animation you can set to short, but honestly I think those animations are like really awesome. Subtitle font size, that does help being on large. I already did change that because normal. You can just go ahead and
Get about my power?
show you the difference here. So if you talk to somebody and say like shop or whatever, see these are unchanged. And that goes with the all the menus actually. So the font actually doesn't change. So you can see like item descriptions, items, menus, they're all the same size. But when you talk to somebody, say the archivist or whoever, the font is bigger. But the rest of the UI, which by the way I'm going to turn this down a little bit because the game is going to get louder when I get into battle. No, it's options.
I want some soda.
I don't give a crap. Let's turn that back to normal. See, it's a little bit smaller. But the fact that those are the only things affected is pretty annoying. It's a little bit helpful, but not that helpful. Like, it's helpful for the sake of legibility for people watching. But for me, yeah, it's not that helpful. Camera sensitivity, locked on camera speed. This is the thing that doesn't seem to work at all. And I will get to that in a moment. Font size, auto scroll subtitles, activation, minimum rotation. I also found quite a few AI things where there were font mistakes, like grammatical or otherwise, and I don't know if those got fixed. But let's find something to fight, which honestly should not be hard.
I'll never get used to seeing tall buildings beneath my feet. That deep canyon was flooded somehow and then froze over. It probably wasn't so cold before. Whether it was flooding or climate change, something happened to this mountain's environment.
Okay,
Good. We managed to break it.
so check this out.
We'll be able to go forward now. The enemy is attacking with electricity.
As soon as you lock on,
You'll be shocked and unable.
it basically just instantly snaps, right? Even though locked on enemy camera speed is set to low.
To move if it hits you.
And you may think, well, maybe that's like the camera shifting as you run around. Not really. Not really. I'm gonna turn that down even further. Because that is still gonna get louder. So if we turn that all the way up, that should be a noticeable difference, right? Lock on, instantly snaps. Same as it did when it was set to low.
Damn.
Turning around. Basically looks the same.
We need to regroup.
Turn all the way back down again. Yep. I mean, maybe that was a tiny bit slower, but not as slow as, not nearly as slow as how they showed it in their video. When if you watch that video from Bandai Namco, which is on their Twitter and on their YouTube, so it's very easy to find. But yeah, so that doesn't seem to work either. It's kind of strange, right?
I'll be able to move for a while.
However, for the few camera things that did get updated,
Let's keep going.
Here we go!
Good.
Took all the good shots, Kasane. That was because of me, right?
Let's keep this going.
so yeah, I don't know. I'm glad they updated it, but also it's not that significant of an update. And I tried my damnedest. I looked around and I could not find really any new quests, at least nothing like outside of maybe a few side quests. Like I kind of went to all the main areas of the game. Maybe it's something in the hideout, I have no idea. But and I kind of talked to everybody that had a quest. But yeah, I really couldn't find much of anything. Oh, maybe I need to check the area where they kept, what's her name? Was it this one? This doesn't look right. No, this isn't right. And this definitely isn't right. Why do I have to go out to the world map? Aren't these two areas connected? Is it just not possible to go to the other way? The other place? Wait, isn't this just outside of where...
This is pretty good. It looks like your usage rate of hypervelocity with SAS is low.
This is this place, okay. kind of thrown off because it's been a little while. Wait, what? It should show one of these as like a door. This is a door here, but I don't think this is the room. Even if it is, it doesn't look like there's any way inside. It does show there's an area behind this area, though. But I don't... that wasn't the room, though. That wasn't her room.
Use my power when you need some defense.
Yeah, sure. Whatever your name was. So yeah, the camera thing, that's cool. But yeah, this was her room. Also, why did my... What is going on with my shadow? Alright, whatever. Maybe it's over here, but this is like the exit, I think. Just trying to think of like all the places that were kind of like significant in the story. Well, that door opened way early. For some reason, shifted the camera automatically to the right.
You can connect SAS anytime.
Yeah. Oh shit. Why does he keep doing that? That's not where... had the camera pointed. This is where that boss fight happened. I remember this bullshit.
Leave nothing!
There are resource readings in the area. I'll leave the pickup to you.
That is super strange. Mm-hmm. Yep, just made a circle. Alright. Cool. What is this place? Maybe there's something here. This was kind of seen. I think this was the place where they thought like Yuito died and shit. Yeah, it was. And there doesn't appear to be anything here. I've literally checked everywhere except Togetsu. And thematically, that should be a place that, you wouldn't have access to because of the events of the game. But hey... Sure. Yeah, this was like a dungeon. This was a area that there wouldn't be anybody here. Whatever, I'm just gonna go back to the hideout. I mean, I'm not trying to shit on this game. I'm just trying to be analytical and fair. This is mostly a video for people that were maybe on the fence about it, or maybe really wanted the game to be improved upon. What does that symbol mean?
You've helped me out so much, Kasane.
I wasn't expecting you to actually
Just let me pick,
saying thank you.
right?
Oh, higher bond level. Okay.
Nobody can stand up to us when we work together. It's so much easier.
That goes for the both of us. I'm not scared of anything either, as long as I have you with me.
Okay. Nobody else has a thing? Okay. And just to be clear, I did like accept every side quest that I could find. There's like 2 that I couldn't find. But yeah, none of them are like specific to an area or make sense thematically or help build the story. They just seem like busy work. And it's always like defeat an enemy this way. It's never, and you just do it any time, and then you can just like in this menu just accept rewards when you're done. It's just very, it feels very unmotivated. Wish list? What? Okay. And this thing as well, when I started with the file, like I had this. Where it was like, you know what this is about. And I was thinking of going to Kunat Highway tomorrow since it's ready. I'd be happy if you all join me. I looked all around Kunat Highway. Fubuki wasn't there. So I don't know what that's about. And the new scene should be available somewhere. Go take a look as soon as you can find that hidden code. And again, pretty sure the hidden codes are like part of the anime, which I always hate it when they do that in games where it's like, oh hey, do this thing outside of the game and then punch in like a thing. It's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Sorry. It just feels tacked on, you know? Like, as far as like watching shows and stuff and movies and series, I'm gonna watch what I want to watch. I don't want to feel like, oh, I have to watch this to find out the thing to put into the... If I really want to see it, I'll just Google what it is and then punch it in. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter to me. But yeah, overall, this game's a good ride. I do enjoy it quite a bit. But But yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about this patch, guys. It's nothing that significant. I wouldn't say like if you've already beaten the game like I have, I wouldn't say it's like the perfect time to like pick it back up again and maybe do that other playthrough if you've only beaten it once. Like I haven't played through the game as Yuito yet, and I don't really feel compelled to because I was kind of waiting for a more significant update. Maybe additional content. Like I don't really want to get like paid DLC if they're doing something like that, depending on what it is. If it's just like extra stuff, it really depends. I want the game to refine the experience more than I want like more things to do, you know? I mean, new areas would be cool if they actually like had a paid DLC where they incorporate the new stuff into the main story instead of it feeling completely separated like this entire game does. Like because of how the map system works, like, and just like there's not much of any continuity, and most of the interactions with characters and cutscenes and all that are kind of like slideshows. It just feels very segmented. Like there doesn't seem to be much of any continuity between areas and events, and just I get it's like an artistic choice to do it that way, but it's not. I think it's one that didn't really pay off. So, yeah. However, getting the game at least on PSN does get you both the PS4 and the PS5 version. That's cool. But if you haven't picked up the game yet, I wouldn't pay full price for it personally. That's not my recommendation. If you do see it on sale, and it's a pretty significant discount, I would say like, 30 or 40 bucks would be a good price. But yeah, I don't. It's a hard recommendation to make. Like, if you already like very Japanese, like action RPGs, sure, you could find a lot of enjoyment out of this game. If it's not your kind of thing, I don't think this game is going to win much of anybody over. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, there's the update, guys. 1.03. Sorry there was no Mega Man X4 episode today, like I'm sure some of you guys were expecting, because I think part 4 was supposed to come out in this time slot. But I wanted to get a video out there really detailing what this patch did. And then of course show gameplay and examples and stuff like that. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about everything. Liking and subscribing is always appreciated. And of course, a very special thank you to our Farts and Crap Show members: Old Cranky Gamer, Novalis, Draconis, and Retro HD. Thank you guys for checking out the join button down below and choosing to support the show a bit more directly. It greatly helps out. And until next time, everybody, take care, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Oh, and we might be getting a internet upgrade pretty soon, so get ready for higher quality streams.